Oh, he had a lot to say. He couldn't wait to vent. He was telling 50 how the nigga Jim Jones arm rent.
Battle Fab and Banks in a battle like we do it, right?
Right.
Who you got?
Space.
Fab or Banks? You know what I'm saying? In a battle like we do it.
That's one of my favorite rappers of all time. So.
What was Space, bro?
I want to Fab got him. I'm telling you, bro.
Money in the bank. I'm saying what I want.
I talked to these two gentlemen too.
In his new 2025 wrap-up, Uncle Murda plainly targets all of 50's opponents, and it's already noisy. He appears. The rapper targeted Jim Jones and Maino, mocking their situations and hinting at a collaboration with 50 Cent. People are paying close attention to this since it appears to be calculated rather than random. The main question is this: is Uncle Murda a foreshadowing of Gunnet's future plans? Is this a prelude to the Let's Rap About It podcast's main event? What are 50's current plans behind the scenes? The timing and smart approach convey a clear message. The individuals who were not touched are particularly noteworthy. Fabulist is barely mentioned briefly for his slick discourse, but receives no serious criticism. It's surprising that Dave East was not addressed at all. Murda suggests that if 50 drops a CD, he may also appear on the tune. Keeping quiet and keeping the surprise makes the situation much more tense. I mentioned earlier that 50 could have been on this wrap-up, but he wasn't, which makes sense. If 50 Cent had been on that track, the scenario would have quickly escalated. Although it is already 2026, 50 has already stated that he is ready to respond. Uncle Murda acted quickly, while 50 was supposedly cooking something behind closed doors. The shots targeted Jim Jones. No hesitancy at all. Tony Yo is a key driver of this energy, especially with upcoming episodes. Murda made Jim feel every bit of disdain. After dismissing the Let's Rap About It podcast, 50 labeled them as squatters, citing unpaid rent for the podcast building. Maino was the first to respond.
Jim Jones told Joe and Jay that he better than Nas. Said he had more Billboard entries than Nas too. The lie detector test determined that was not true.
He threatened to acquire the property if the funds were not handled properly. Jim ended up paying, which made things much messier. And guess what? Uncle Murda brought it up loudly and clearly. This section is important, so make sure to push the hype button.
You said my nigga Yayo broke, he not though. I was just with him eating smoked duck in Morocco.
These were minor jabs primarily directed against Maino, not serious about Fabulous at all. There was no mention of Dave East. The incident has centered on Jim Jones and Maino, with Maino now taking the lead in responding. So, what comes next? Murda reveals his strategy in case 50 Cent intervenes. Murda is currently popping his ish. There is no doubt about that, but keep it authentic. This was hardly a shocking revelation that turned everything upside down. The situation was calm, controlled, and calculated. Overall, the conclusion was solid. Maino was upset when we referred to them as squatters. Maino posted a picture of 50 with curly hair. Jim Jones' farm known as 50 Up. Despite being a departure from Murda's customary manner, it was effective. Was that his finest ever? No, but it was clean, focused, and effective. The key point is that the small jabs feel like a setup. Murda appears to be setting the stage for bigger things to come beyond 50. The new year has begun, and 50 is a fast-paced age. He's not the sort to let this go.
They put a freestyle out, all four of them. Fab shit was slick, but right now 50 ignoring them. If he do respond, I might be on that song with him. Tell the engineer to punch me in when he done recording.
The issue remains as to how he will respond. Nobody knows what will happen here. Many speculate that 50C is terrified or will not answer. Some speculate that he may revert to his original Gunnet thinking and disrupt the status quo. Currently, it's all guesswork, nothing concrete. It's possible that the podcast will be discontinued or changed. Would it be fair if this happened? That is questionable. Wax is popular for its hip-hop music. Let's be honest for a second. Sometimes we don't receive our desired outcome. This is not the early 2000s anymore. While some may lament the days when every cry out required a response, it's important to note that 50 is not bound to respond to anyone or do anything. These are simply realities. With that stated, let's not act like 50 doesn't enjoy being petty. Jump in the booth if the mood hits. He has been recording for shows, movies, and soundtracks behind the scenes, rather than focusing on billboards or radio spins. This is a different lane, but it keeps him occupied. The true question is this: Is 50 going to go full demon time like in the past, or will he let this one slip and keep moving? Everyone is eagerly anticipating this outcome. Will we see a full-fledged comeback CD like How to Rob M Mode again? Probably not. Some claim to have heard of a ghetto fab moment, but I'm skeptical. 50 Cent is known for his unique style and timing in making noise. That dude is not afraid. Let's be real. We were also able to identify the larger brand. Is it truly a loss if 50 people choose not to respond? Nope. After a few months, most people will forget about this circumstance. Everyone has their moment, and that's how it goes. The trash chatter from the Let's Rap About It podcast will quickly disappear if 50 doesn't acknowledge it. The only way to keep it alive is for 50 people to react in any way. If he responds and the internet seems unimpressed, some may interpret it as a negative outcome. It's difficult for 50 to accept a loss when the internet is already biased in their favor. He has leverage, influence, and attention over lock. That is power. Take a look at the wider picture. Vegas selected 50 performers for New Year's Eve. Sabulous is not being considered for the available slot. They aren't calling Jim Jones either. This reflects the current status of 50. They are not choosing Maino. They are not choosing Dave East either. Let's keep it $1. In today's world, there aren't enough people who completely embrace them. Does this imply they are irrelevant? No, not exactly. Musicians still have a lane, but it is currently limited. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is never unimportant. And this is simply a truth. Do you feel me? The number 50 is relevant across all eras. He has been the most streamed New York artist for 3 years in a row, which is not surprising. It's 50. We've watched the movie before. His popularity and brand continue to grow. This is where he gets his leverage. Power is important. Will he respond? Although uncertain, it appears feasible. Uncle Murda's low-key hint. If 50 gets in the booth, I'm right there with him. The energy is apparent. Perhaps we'll create a new Junit-style tune. The identity of 50 Murda, or Tony Yao, remains unknown. Is this enough to shut down everything? It depends. In my opinion, a definite win is achieved when the bars hit harder and with more intensity than previously seen. The real question is whether we'll see a modern Junit run. There is no Young Buck or Lloyd Banks. Only a new version that moves differently. So where does this leave things right now? We feel like we're in the quiet before the storm. 50 Cent is passively observing reactions and allowing others to speak their minds. He typically strikes when there is less commotion. The situation is only sustainable if 50 people take action. This decision alone determines the entire narrative. Uncle Murda has shown he is prepared for the call. This reveals the current location of Gun's head. Talking, reacting, and debating on the opposite side won't move the needle unless 50 people take action. Now it's a waiting game. Does 50 let this fade off silently or switch the board to remind folks who still controls the temperature online? Regardless, one thing is certain. Everyone is watching his next move. When it arrives, it will undoubtedly shake things up. Is the current lineup sufficient to defeat the other team, including lobby guys, Fabulous, and supporters? I really don't know, champ. We'll have to see how this unfolds in real time. The larger question is this. What are your thoughts on 50 Cent's future based on Uncle Murda's current trajectory? Do you have the feeling that something big is about to happen soon? Possibly even this week. Time is of the essence, since a single new headline can quickly overshadow the entire situation. This is how quickly the game moves. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I will cover everything that happens regardless of the outcome, as the story is not yet complete. And gang, do me a favor. Subscribe to Dritsen, share this video, leave a comment, and click the hype button. It is free. Your support is much appreciated as the channel grows in popularity.